So welcome again to Collage Live Online and the mystical crew of Scissors and Glue at the Ogden Museum. We're going to have a couple different angles set up where folks can jump from different views. And every hour on the hour, artists will come on and talk a little bit about the progress and show a little bit about what is going on. Let's cut over to Christopher Kurt's view.
Hi, everybody. Christopher Kurtz here, the co-founder and organizer of the Mystic Crew of Scissors and Glue. We have Sean Lindsey, Ella Campbell, and Savanna Meekins with us at the moment. We have a couple more people who will be stopping by throughout the day. And I was told there are some questions already, so let me take a look. Yeah, we are keeping the sound off for this one. I don't know, do people think an ASMR style sound is better? Would you like to just hear us cutting and talking? I could leave the sound on. Let's see, what types of glue are we using? Elmer's and hot glue at the moment. We've got some Mod Podge, we've got some PVC. Purple sticks and white sticks. And Charles Lewis asks if there's any themes for what we are cutting out today. Not specifically. The main theme was the obelisk, and then everything else is sort of fair game. That's kind of the part of the collaboration that I like. Is it's kind of all a big mystery until we get together and start working. So we've done some collaboration as a group before. We did a show at the Domino in New Orleans, and we did about I think we did over 20 pieces, and the way we did that one was we passed them around. So like one of us would start a piece and then hand it off to another person. We did a few get-togethers where we worked them all at the same time, but there was a lot less conversation about what was going on as opposed to what's going to happen in for this collaboration, where I think you can even see Savanna and Ella behind me planning some things. So that's exciting to me that we're really kind of working as a group this time. I saw another question come up about what kind of glue we're using. I mean, my glue of choice personally is a glue stick, although it's not going to work as well all over this thing. So I think we're using some Mod Podge, some matte medium, things like that, a wetter glues to get a base coat. And then once things kind of covered in paper, glue stick is probably what I'll use. And so my plan is to check in. Yeah, I want to check in with artists throughout this thing. I'm letting people work at the moment, but maybe in about half an hour, I'll pull one of them to the side. I was thinking every hour on the hour, we would do a kind of interview with the artists here. So it seems like people would like to have some sound on. So I think we're just going to leave the audio on. Is that cool with everybody? Okay. And then someone asked what our favorite place to get images. I think most of us, well, I won't speak for everyone, but I get all of my stuff as free as can be. We have books that have been donated by other artists and people that we know, side of the road, picking things up. Basically wherever I can get it. I try not to pay for materials if I don't have to. And when we started as a group over a year ago now, a year ago I think, we had like maybe like a bucket of supplies. And then as more people came and the group grew, our community bin of materials has grown. And so now we're like maybe like 5 milk crates and a giant Rubbermaid tub full of books and magazines and old ephemera. Does anybody else have any good stories about found materials? Where? Oh, okay. Sean says the recycle center. That's a good tip. Oh, right. And Ella says that the St. Charles Library here in New Orleans has a basement full of old books that like aren't in rotation anymore. I hear if you tell them that you're a collage artist, they'll take you down there and let you pick some stuff out. So I'm gonna get back to work, but we're gonna hop in and out and talk to the camera and each other. But I'll leave the sound on for now. All right. I thought you moved the car.
I know that we were asking you for things. Is this the one that has the sound on? Actually, it would be harder to visual here. If it's easier. There's going to be a floor. Okay, yeah, I don't want to over put stuff on here. We can put them on when they're like this. Okay. Yeah. That's not a good idea. So I guess I'm just used to, I'm not used to working with hot glue. Just when you hold it, don't like hold it like this. So you don't jerk it over. Glitter over part inside. They're drying. I didn't even think about it as being that shade until I looked at something. And then the fact that I'm also glittering now, I was like, that's like the joke about glitter. Yeah, it is. Super meta. Yeah. Are people talking to computers? Did you spoil yourself? Seems like you're in a car yet. What if, what I'm doing is like writing something,
Hello?
or like, what if it was like, a little off and like that part of it? When we were in my part.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this is okay, but I thought it was
It's like kind of where this side also like woefully empty. Maybe. That's what I always start, and then I'm like, why did I put it in? That's why I brought this. Yeah, because I wanted an apron, I wanted it something get down here, something get down here. Okay, so mom is going to do a shape. That I can see. This is what party supplies is in the budget. Evolution. Yeah, this is practically very interesting. If we were on that line or something, how do we put things together and look at it and decide if I could do it or not? Versus like, I get users, or screw it, and then like, where'd you go? I mean, this was all much less thought than wanting to go into the meeting therapy. Right, yeah.
So we're here with Ella Campbell, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the work that she's been doing recently, which she is bringing to the obelisk today.
Yeah, so I've been working on doing some assemblage with putting anything that I think might melt into my hot glue gun. Some of it successful, some of it not so successful. And I'm including a lot of things in those assemblage that are very nostalgic, very colorful, and trying to remove a little bit of the shame that comes with being a grown-up, but still liking playful colors, liking bright colors, liking fun notebooks, little things like that. So in that work, it actually takes quite a long time to find the right materials that will melt in the glue guns, or finding hot melt that's the right color. And then I'm using that to help all of us kind of stop being ashamed of loving all of these bright, fun colors and sparkle and glitter, because that was what all of us were consuming when we were growing up. And then suddenly people are like, you have to dress a certain way, you have to paint your house beige, you have to
But I think in New Orleans,
yeah,
that gets subverted. I mean, like citywide, right?
Citywide, and
I mean, we have Mardi Gras costumes.
we have costuming like you've never seen anywhere else. People, you know, are competing for the most glittered, decorated throws that they can collect. So I feel like it's also, I'm lucky to be in a space or in a place where when you do something that's colorful, that's bright, that sparkles, that brings people joy for the sake of joy, this is a city that lets you do that and doesn't say you need to grow up, you need to stop using those colors. I say in New Orleans, the equivalent of the little black dress is actually wigs, because you never know when you're going to need to throw on a fun wig.
So true.
So yeah, did we have some Q&A in the chat?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe the two little messages.
So I can't, I think because we logged out and back on, I don't see the questions in the Q&A, but if you want to post them in any questions in the chat, it's basically everything reset for us after our computer shut down for a second.
More about Lisa Frank. I would love to tell you more about Lisa Frank. She grew up in Michigan near Detroit. Her father was one of the board members of the Detroit Institute of Art. So she was surrounded by abstract art from his personal collection. She actually had her first art show in high school, and it was abstract art. It was not illustration. It was closer to something like Jackson Pollock or something like that, where there's a lot of splashes and colors. But she grew up surrounded by fine art, and surrounded by fine art that was abstract art. And then she had a goal of making sure that all of the art that she was making was accessible to people who don't have big budgets. So that's why you could find a lot of the things that she designed and that the artists that work for her designed in places like Kmart, in places that have kind of a lower price point, because she wanted her work to be accessible to everyone. And she also never wanted to make the same product twice. So every single product has a different illustration on it. And she actually has patented colors and patented paints. So that's why everyone loves her color palette, is because she actually has specific formulas to get those colors. And all of the original artwork from her earliest productions were actually done with airbrushes and hand illustrated. So all of that kind of gradient you see was actually from like airbrushes done by hand in the original work, in her earliest work.
That's really cool. And there are other artists that are inspiring this new work of yours? Yeah,
there's a lot of, and it's not just artists that are inspiring this. It's a lot of commercial designers too. So you think of Betsy Johnson, You think of kind of these clothing companies that are doing a lot of iridescent things. There's a lot of even high-end designers that are working with huge volumes of tulle and making huge couture gowns and things like that. So I brought some Krewe paper with me to kind of bring that element in. But there's also a lot of, there's a lot of commercial design influence in the work that I'm doing. And there's a lot of influence from pop artists like Ashley Longshore. She's not afraid to swear. She's not afraid to use bright colors. She's not afraid to use rhinestones. She's not afraid of mixing different things that are classy and things that are wild and stuff like that. So she's also a big influence in the work. And then also Rachel Burke. She does everything from designing clothes to making fine art to hosting events called Bad Art Night, where a bunch of grown-ups come and make terrible art and terrible sculptures and just have a blast doing it. So yeah, those are some of the influences.
That's awesome. So we have some questions. How do you deal with issues of copyright when using other people's images from books and magazines? Personally, I don't worry about it, but that's just my take. It's kind of funny that this also relates to the Lisa Frank question, because even just, we are using images from magazines and things like that, but there's also something called subconscious plagiarism that you can do where, like George Harrison is guilty of this. It's composing My Sweet Lord. It's actually the same song as a song by the Chiffons. And so you can think you haven't seen something before and that you're just coming up with something amazing, and then you're accidentally just recreating something else. So with copyright issues, we're not photocopying things and using copies of those. Like, we are using things that we're not duplicating things, and we're using discarded objects and we're like contorting them and cutting them out and mixing them up and creating something so surreal that once it's beyond recognition, I think that it kind of, it's the medium that we're using. We're not copying someone else's work. Yeah, and I suppose if we actually I did run into an issue where I had a Superman image cut out in one of my collages, and one of those companies that will turn your prints into clothing and tote bags or whatever, they were like, we can't do it for you because we could get in trouble for it. So I think when it comes to things like that, when you're trying to make money and selling stuff, it can be an issue.
Especially when you're reproducing it. I think the issue comes with reproducing a recognizable logo and something that's trademarked. The thing is that people have to own the copyright of,
and they have to enforce it too.
And they have to enforce it. And some of the stuff is out of publication, and some of the stuff is so old that I would assume it was public domain, especially if we're going to use lyrics or something. But yeah, we kind of just use the medium as we do.
Let's see, asking about our prep for today. Well, so we talked a little bit about it. So for starters, we had originally said that the obelisk was going to be 6 feet, and it's closer to 9 feet.
Yes.
So
loving the light.
Thank you, Michael Payon, another member of the Mystic Crew of Scissors and Glue, who helped build the obelisk this week, for making it so much bigger than it needed to be. And so we actually ran into an issue today as we were trying to get it out of the studio. We realized it wouldn't fit, so we had to cut it into 3 pieces and then assemble it here, which is probably what we should have planned to do from the beginning. You live and you learn. This whole experience has been a big learning experience. But we did talk about specifically bringing Ella's work into the project. You had asked me how your work was going to be integrated in the more paper collage, more traditional collage stuff that's going on here. And I had compared it to moss growing on a tree.
Yeah, that was a really helpful image for me. So what I did was prepped a bunch of slabs of cardboard, pieces of cardboard. And usually with my work, I do collage the base of it, and then I'm building and building and building layers on top of it. So I'm usually using beads and very small, like seed beads and glitter and little hand-painted pieces of resin, costume jewelry. So I had to think a lot bigger scale. So we went with a lot of party supplies because they have those colors, they have textures. And so I prepped some like bigger pieces of cardboard to be those like patches of moss on a tree. And so I'm gonna be working with a lot of bright colors, a lot of things that are sparkly, a lot of things you wouldn't think to collage with, like going to the dollar store and getting some toys. So a lot of prep work actually went into thinking, how do I scale my work so that it has the same effect on something that's 10 feet tall, where you might not actually be able to see seed beads and things like that. So we had a little conversation about like, okay, these are the supplies to be able to do the work that I'm currently doing in my own practice on the scale that makes sense if we have to cover like 90 square feet of something of collage.
And right behind us, you can see there's a sort of starburst pattern with some golden scissors in the center. That was actually a repurposed item that was part of a collage costume that I did for Mardi Gras this year. I made a big cape, and that was the center of it. So it's kind of just, you know, looking around the house and seeing what we have. I did try to think bigger. The books and the materials that I brought this time were of the larger size so that we could try to get bigger images that would read on a piece like this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, the question. Okay.
How does work for you connect to your adulthood embrace? Oh, how does Lisa Frank's work connect to my adulthood embrace? Well, I think she was kind of the first. Her art supplies were so, you could get so much of them for it was so inexpensive. And I remember hoarding Lisa Frank stickers. And also she definitely was thinking a lot about what, you know, in commercial design, what did people want? And a lot of that is coming back right now. It's very nostalgic right now. I'm not the only person who's like, I remember Lisa Frank. I want more of that in my life. So I think that it's important that we let the things that make us happy. And working with her supplies has always made me happy. So working with that style and you know, I don't have access to her colors, none of us do. But working with bright colors, I kind of think of it's kind of like deep for me too, because I'm like, it's kind of funny how we are forced to grow up and then forced to get jobs and all of these things that make us kind of forget being playful and being outrageous and being on like, think of the shapes of a playground, McDonald's play place, things like that. That's all of these kind of swirly shapes and really bright colors. And then we have to wear work uniforms and we have to, like I said, like have our beige houses, except in New Orleans. And so her work, like tying into adultness, is a lot of just like, if you are at Target and you see a Lisa Frank notebook and you want to get it, I say you should just get it. And anybody at your meeting that thinks it's ridiculous, like, they're right. It's ridiculous and it's fun and it's okay to like it.
Yeah, I'm all about the youthful experience as an adult. If you want to celebrate Harry Potter's birthday with a bunch of your friends, I think you should do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna do it.
And like, I mean, that's part of why I love that one Mardi Gras crew that does all of the sci-fi. Chewbacca.
Yep.
That's part of why I love going to that parade, is because people are totally leaning into what they think is funny. They're leaning into how do they build a spaceship out of cardboard? They're leaning into stuff that they loved when they were like a tween, and it's just so fun to see people embracing joy for the sake of joy, not celebrating because of a specific reason, like just joy for the sake of joy.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Chewbacca's is a Mardi Gras parade. I think it's going on like almost 10 years now. I've been doing it for like 8, I think. And it started off as like the sci-fi parade, and it's a play on Bacchus, which is a more traditional Mardi Gras parade and crew. But now it's just become like everything nerd culture, and just, yeah, fun and joy and childhood nostalgia. There's like a Xena group in Chewbacca's, and there's a Harry Potter group in Chewbacca's, and there's a Star Trek group in Chewbacca's, and they all wear goofy costumes that sort of remix the characters and play on words for the different.
Oh yeah, like they had like a Space Force crew last year, so they play on like current events. They play on puns.
Yeah, and Chewbacca's is a big outlet for, I mean, me and a lot of other people to do these kinds of, like something like this is very in line with the kind of stuff that Chewbaccans are doing. So I think we'll get back to work here.
Cool.
We've still got a lot to do.
We do.
But go ahead and leave some more questions in the chat. Hopefully we don't have any more technical issues, but if you're playing along at home, the Collage Live drinking game, every time there's a technical issue, you take a drink. So you guys should be maybe a little bit tipsy at this point.
Or very well caffeinated.
Right. Oh, Chewbacca's is, well, Chewbacca's is actually now the first parade of the Mardi Gras season. I don't know the exact date. Maybe somebody who knows can chime in the chat. But it's like,
it'll usually be like between February and April.
Yeah, but it's like, it's like 4 weeks out from Mardi Gras Day. It like kicks off the carnival season. Okay, so we're gonna get back to it. All right.
Bye guys. I mean, I'll still be here, but bye.
I had asked Rick this morning if y'all could try to, you know, pretend there's an invisible wall that goes along here and just not get people like that coming next to it. You still have fun just when you're stepping back.
Are you in the parking lot or on the street? I'm on the street, I'm in the bridge. I'm in the bridge. I'm not sure if that's historically, flooding. I don't know, I feel like it's crap. I guess it's flooding or rain will be darker, like, someone would care about their car. Well, so, I think if you work it on the screen, yeah, I think you're probably better off than you were on the screen. Well, we won't be able to get it inside into the building. How could we really, or in office? Oh, no, it's long. Oh, no, oh, I love the spells. Yeah, I wish we had more. We just had like where did you find a color spell? Person spell. It's so it's like fun. That's some stuff. Wait. I was like thinking of bringing snacks, and then I was in such a hurry, and I was like, what bakery do you go to? Friendship? Yeah. I think we go to work there. Oh. Back in the day. Back in the day. Oh my God, the colors in that picture. I know, I'm like scared. Like, what do I do with it? Crazy. I figured out all the time you were either, but I'm like, oh, it's too pretty. Very much. That's something I could have talked about with my art too. It's like, I'm starting because, you know, like, well, happening with toys and things like that in it, like things that we thought were just celebration. And art kind of makes you do that, right? Like, and they have to say it's so good, and then you just like chop it up and glue it with something. Well, yeah, they're like John State, like working on all these cutouts, and then being like, you know what? I'm gonna use them all today. Yeah, I've been admiring this. Oh my gosh. Amazing. I was going for it. That's good. It's really hard. I just felt that and I was like, yeah, it's okay. That was like your illustration. So I was just thinking, I was like, what's that graphic pattern? Right? Yeah. Because it's how I continue to love. So just let you do the whole thing. Don't just stop now. I mean, that's like the happiest business that's ever been. Or maybe like I bring those when I teach, when I taught the workshop in the physical. So I bring those and I bring it all in little buckets. And stuff like that. And so maybe people were like, oh, I want to use this. You know, until there's less, something like, like even a brand. That's what I feel like. I wonder if they feel like people use it like they'll need it to like we 20 every hour to be able to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, wasn't sure if I
I was thinking of it hanging down.
okay.
The other way.
You want to
Up to you.
Wait, you said this one, right? You're still in the flow, if you want to. Also, considering the order for whoever they teach. He's probably making the pieces now as detailed as I'm doing them now, but like, this is really so heavy though, that maybe I should do it like this. But also, it's so cool, but it will take me like 2 months to make it. Oh, maybe that is the one. The new color for the back, right? Yeah, it's cool. Thank you. What bakery? Gracious, bakery. Wealthy and graceful travelers and beautiful men breaking down a mile and felt like coffee. Yeah. Well, weddings are like crazy now. If you just search like flowers versus if you search wedding flowers, they're like people. Yeah, they really made it. And then the same plant order for like sympathy is like $70. I don't know. And then you do it. If you want me to do this stuff.
Yeah, if you want. All right, we're joined now by Savanna Meekins, a local New Orleans artist, also my wife. And she has been, what? Yeah, we've been married the whole time. Really? Yeah. How long have we been married?
Like nine
Neither of us knows how long.
9 years, I know.
And but Savannah's been a huge supporter of the Mystic Krewe of Scissors and Glue since the beginning. She's the reason that I even went to Collage Fest in the first place and met Hope Amico, who lived in New Orleans up until very recently, and we started the Mystic Krewe together. Savannah, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about our progress as a group? We've done a handful of projects together now, and this is our second collaborative one.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of progress. The beginning, the Mystic Krewe, it was sort of more like a little social experiment in a way. Like you had just met Hope. I didn't really meet Hope until the Krewe was founded, and then the few other people that came didn't really know each other, and just sort of like we went from sitting quietly and tentatively commenting on each other's work in a very kind of polite way to becoming a group that was able to come out of their shell altogether, so we really could work together. I think the social bonds really help the creative collaboration, and I know it definitely affected this piece. Michael, is such a great resource, and he really spearheaded the actual construction of this monstrous Monstrosity. I didn't want to call it a monstrosity, but I was like, it is though.
It is.
In a beautiful way.
And you're not traditionally a collage artist, in the way that I am.
Yeah. I didn't really do any collage until the Krewe was started, and you know, I went because it seemed fun, and I wanted to support, you know, this project that you and Hope were starting. But for me, I started to really appreciate the creative exercise of being at the meetup, specifically because I'm not a collage artist per se. So for me, the stakes are very low when I'm doing collage, or especially when I started out. I maybe started to get a little more precious as time went on. But I think for anybody who does any kind of art form, it's really helpful to do creative exercises that are outside of that medium that you love and that you normally do, because you have so many self-imposed ideas about what it needs to be or restrictions, and doing a different medium lets you just have fun.
Indeed. Let's see if we've got some questions in the chat here that we could answer. Okay, so Llewellyn is talking about her own collaborations, and she does them on a smaller scale. And she says that you learn quickly to just let it go and just happen, that the art cannot be precious. She says that she assumes collaborating on something this big, you'd have to let go on steroids. And I think that that's true. I am definitely a lot more precious with my collage work than I am when it comes to collage night, where we just work in a bar on our own, and our collaborative projects. I think those are much more free associative projects for me.
Yeah, I think that's the nature of working collaboratively, especially when it comes to a time restraint like this, where we know we're going to get together and work on something for 4 hours straight. There's less creative planning ahead of time. And I think that's great. It's what makes it fun and not stressful to work with other people for me.
And Anne sort of asks, so she said, was there a theme or concept decided on beforehand? And no, I mean, the biggest concept was that I wanted to go much bigger than the, when we did our first collaborative show, most of the pieces were in like the 8x10 to 11x12 range. There might have been a couple that were a little bit bigger, and there were a few that were smaller. So the image of the obelisk just came to me, and I didn't question it too much. And even though some people tried to talk me out of it, I pushed forward. And I think in then researching obelisks, it just reinforced what a good idea it was for this group. An obelisk can represent a ray of sun. It's often used in like temples or things like that. And I kind of like the idea that this obelisk is channeling the divine creative energy of the universe and drawing it downward into us. And the obelisk is also traditionally used as a sort of like training or a stepping stone to bigger monuments. So if you were a stonemason, they might have you do an obelisk first to prove that you can handle it. And so this is another stepping stone. I think we're only going to go bigger from here, maybe.
I would also say that a sort of an unofficial theme that I think has come out of it is texture. Especially, you know, we knew going in, we had seen that work that Ella had been doing recently and knew she wanted to bring that style to this project. And so that inspired us to bring sort of similar materials like pipe cleaners and felt and things that we don't normally use in our regular collage work. And even the stuff that Sean's been doing, all that insect side, the way that he's putting it up is still bringing a lot of texture, visual and physical, to all those insects. So I think that's kind of like a happy accident theme that we've ended up with.
And Anne also asked if there was like a structure to how we collaborate. Do we start something, move on, and let someone else contribute, or is it a creative free-for-all? And it really is a free-for-all, but I think it requires a lot of trust and good intentions. You have to look at what other people are doing so that you can add to it in a way that doesn't just cover up what someone else has done. I mean, it's okay to like overlap and sometimes like cover up a majority of, but I think you have to see what the other artists are intending to do before you can really collaborate appropriately. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think everybody, we're a small group today, but even in the larger crew, is naturally very respectful of other people's work, almost to a fault in a collaborative environment, because, you know, no one's over there on Sean's bug side, like gluing pom-poms in between, but maybe that would be cool.
Oh, I was just waiting for him to finish.
Yeah. So I think we'll get to that stage, but yeah, especially at the beginning, we kind of let each other do stuff, and just, yeah, I trust everybody.
And so now that you've been doing collage for a while, has it changed the way you approach your, well, so Savanna does illustrative work and
a lot of costume type
a lot of costume work. Has collage influenced or changed the way that you approach your other?
Actually, the most recent, more illustrative thing that I did during Ella's art collage club, Ella's art club. If anybody is looking for a collaborative Zoom space to do art. And I did some painting, and then I ended up digitally collaging that for the final piece, which isn't something I probably would have thought of. I've normally, if I'm working on a physical piece of art, I just work that physical piece by hand. But I really liked it, being able to think of collage as like a second layer to the art creation, like make elements and then collaging them together. So I would say, yeah.
Awesome. So we're gonna get back to work. We've still got some spaces to fill here and a couple more hours to do it. I would say if there's anything you'd like to see us do or talk about, put it in the chat, and we'll be back around in another like 45 minutes or so to talk some more.
Like anybody who's been to the Zoom or whatever gets to tell us a material. Yeah, like well had right. Oh my God, I can't believe how much I love that material.
Cool. The only makes you want to get closer. You're like, what's going on over here?
I can't believe
Oh,
how
this
much time
is-
you spent cutting products in your life. I know, you said like 6 months, and I'm like, oh, it would take 5 years.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I started really collaging to like stuff in between my projects. So I have to like focus on technical stuff. Like, I don't know what the hell this looks like. I'm walking around. I want to do all my visual.
Yeah, there's a middle. Yeah, stick it out. That's our future Christmas problem. Well, yeah, you've got soap in a pocket. You got pipe cleaners in one pocket. It's kind of bumming me out that we can't be like, wow, what a day, let's go get a drink. I know. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's go get some oysters. You know, like, what are we gonna do with all this? Oh my gosh, I love. It's a show that I'm texting like people kept being like when it was on. Oh, it's so good, and I was like, I'm pretty bored and stuff. And then at times, yeah. But then as soon as we started watching, after like 2 episodes, we were like, yeah, it's actually really great because right now we have a lot of time because I have this. That's why I really like now times Star Trek. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's all your goal. You just need to finish it.
I voted. You need to
Anybody can vote.
Literally.
Other way.
People, and I'm so mad at the internet because when I searched like Star Trek chronological order, it showed me this like somebody made like an Excel sheet of like how all of the events that happen in which episodes play out in like Star Trek years. Yeah, that doesn't matter. It really is. The people on the internet, half of the people on the internet disagree. Well, they don't disagree that it's amazing. They think that I should start from the beginning.
They're very different.
Yeah, and you know, first, like, I watched Nixon growing up, like, not obsessively like all of it, but, you know, in a general, casual way. The person never watched it. And I had to like convince him to watch it. So I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's like a good show. It really is good. And then once he started, he got into it. I'm into it kind of out of bewilderment because like some of the just like some of the civilization that they need. And like what the civilizations think is smart and what also like they thought that dialogue sounds were just like always going to be there. Even in 2300 or whatever. Yeah, I like it as like the social storyline and stuff, as opposed to a show that's about like, you know, fighting. Yeah. And I think that's done a really good job on it. There is someone who was like DS9 and I was like,
It's much more of a sequel to that. Well, I mean, it's not a sequel, but it's everyone's common connection.
okay.
The original series is very much a common of the common.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really find it. Yeah. Why is it? It's just not like it's so old that it's like if you like watching old TV where they're like, oh, I mean that's part of why I like Next. It's kind of like that. It's like TV, but yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to find out if you do watch the other ones and what you think about it. Well, that's kind of like, that's my plan now because it just looks like we're all just going to be stuck inside for so long. It's sure you can find food for paper now. Oh God, I can trust myself. I'm not afraid. That was so fun. I just burned my thingy, but I tried to play it cool. I burned my finger when we were doing this thing, but I didn't make a sound. Yeah, I think this side is going next to the Savanna bubble. Yeah. There should be the spiky Corona bubble like on the other side. Ruben.
I feel like you definitely put some of your it's like taken in other places.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, kind of like deep down.
And I was wondering if you think some of the green as like a slug trail, but if you don't, if you don't like, yeah, flood it, then
I think that is a lot extra, and I can
cool.
cover a little bit, and I can, we'll figure it out. It's not okay, whatever we do. Yeah, that's cool.
Isn't it weird? Totally singular. I see you. I see your puns, and I appreciate them. Can't get over these folks. I love them. Felt was really fun to do. I used the one in the little battery. Beautiful. Yeah. The queen. Oh my gosh, imagine, we cut a hole in the floor, we do my art, we put plexiglass over it. Yeah. And then we just walk on it. And then we buy a house, and then, because like, most houses, there's nothing under there, so that should be pretty easy. Yeah. Yes, most houses, the termites. Have eaten anything that was here. Yeah, we have like a couple little like plants in our new floors where you can like see down to the dirt and have like shoved different things in there. I've been thinking of like filling it with glitter and then resin. Yeah. That would be beautiful. I'm sure my landlord would actually just not care. Because if there's that big of gaps. They should be paying you for that kind of improvement. Take it off the rent. And then like I could, what if I charge them like an artist fee for filling the floor with glitter? That would then. Or you think?
I was just saying that this is beautiful art with flowers that are about to be small. And
You dry them?
I didn't dry them, I put them on a piece of fabric, and covered them with like liquid stitch, so it can, and basically like, this is the same effect that like what resin does,
Oh, cool.
but it's like malleable and it's like made for fabric, so it like seals all the flowers in there, and yeah, all protected, and stuff. So that's absolutely gorgeous.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't realize I get the five on my finger until like 5 seconds later. Yeah. Or, can you believe that this is what I get to do today? Are those glitter roses? Oh, these are little caves. I mean, your roses always have little caves. They're called wings, but that makes me think of Bug's Life when the little ants have the little leaves that are like their scalps, and they have little leaves painted like ladybugs, and they wear a cape. They're going on Bug's Life too. Hello. Yeah, no. Hello. Are we on?
I was working on campaign. I don't know what actual part of the RPG it's based on like Collage and Toy Story and stuff like that. We would play like little things in my backyard. Cool.
I'm in it.
Okay, cool. I'll let you know when that time is set.
Okay, great. Oh my gosh, then all of us we heard that picture. Sorry. Yeah, it will only be hard to remember.
Oh, yes.
Look at how weird this is. Oh. I'm trying to like get out to like a bird in a very like cut this out and then it's like and then out of time.
Yeah.
So fun you say. I'm sorry, what do you want to do?
I gotta have all this stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this like a couple more days. Like all I want to do are details. But I know. I started putting on like quarter-inch size bombs. We're just doing like what you want. I even wrote down the orders so that I didn't get distracted. But here I am. Wait, did you have a top for me? You want me to use
I was just pulling something up, but
I'll just forget it or
I don't know.
you're already a little small. It's okay. I'll just make it out of it. I could use foil and then it will not keep it. and it'll smell good. Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Oh my gosh, we just added another scent. Feathers. Oh, I forgot, that was the first thing I cut out, and then I only used the shoot that I'm off. What was I thinking? I was expecting like Jefferson Baraki. Sorry. Every time I burn my hair, I get a little adrenaline rush. Yeah, really. Oh my gosh, I love your connection. That's a wonderful and that's a result. The fur is coming out because I hate the blob over there. I love this blob. This blob, I missed the mark. So I thought, oh my gosh, what if I move it off for the space? Do we hate that? Do we love that? Do we not there? I don't know. Yeah, I was going to do it. I feel like if it's making it all look good. Yeah. Yeah, very much. Hang on good.
Put that behind.
So busy, how seriously I'm looking at this. just like, there's something wrong with this section of that. I'm right. Maybe I don't like it. Maybe I don't like it. Oh, yeah, that's good. It is like in the show somewhere. I mean, it's not really bad, lady. Did you put any ponies in it? Are there any ponies in that area? There's no ponies. Oh, I feel like that's the last step. I probably need ponies. I do need to put some of this line to this. What if we put the globe on there? You know, attaching the globe, but we put the globe.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can do a globe is on. Never mind. I got excited about it. Thank you for the news. Yeah, I saw them. What if we go line where we put up to the balcony and the second floor and the one floor? Like if we made an obelisk so tall that people could be working. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, you hear you on bow. What I do? I don't. Oh my god, that was reminded of me. Even though I think actual mine is oh my god. Whoa. I'm not sure where she should go, but maybe like one of the maybe I'll put there. So fun. That's a bird. That's a little banana bird. Ooh. Yeah. I kind of like down. Is that weird? It does. We saw Leslie this morning, because we're stopping at Grace and we're in the room there.
On TV.
All right, we're back, everybody. And I'm here with Sean Lindsey. He is originally from the Bay Area, but he's been living in New Orleans since
Almost 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
All right. And what kind of art would you say you normally do?
Normally I don't normally do anything. Regularly, I've been doing watercolor painting for the past couple of years. But yeah, I kind of just get myself into whatever I can, whatever seems cool, or you know,
Yeah.
just to do it for experience.
And so you were doing some collage before I met you.
Yeah.
And then you came to our meetup.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then you participated in our last collaborative effort that's up at the Domino still.
Oh, cool.
Because
I didn't know it was still up. That's awesome.
Because the pandemic happened and lockdown happened. And so that whole show is still hung up. It's the longest exhibition that no one will ever see.
Cool.
So what is it about collage that you like doing?
I like collage because it's different than what I normally do. in that I can kind of zone out, and I don't have to be technical about stuff. The only real technical part for me is actually cutting it out and having the lines be like where I want around the shape. But I mean, that's the main draw for me. Another main draw is stuff is free, or it's been free. I've never bought anything to collage. I've always found books or gone places where there's free books. Yeah, I can zone out and then just play. And because a lot of times when I'm doing art, I'm doing like more serious pieces, and it's very high anxiety, especially with watercolor, because you do one little drop and it's like the painting can get ruined. I mean, you can fix it sort of, but if you don't want it to be there, you can't just like take it away. So collage, I can just zone out, and I'm not, upset if something isn't in the exact place. I'm like, do whatever, like let's get it done. So.
And you use a lot of repetition in the collages of yours that I've seen.
That's what I'm drawn to in collage for myself, is getting one idea, and then finding a bunch of images surrounding that idea, and then cramming them all together so that you're just looking at everything that's like associated with that thing.
Right, as evidenced by the side of the obelisk that you've been working on today.
Cool, it looks so cool there.
Yeah, covered in insects. We'll get some more close-up views, and you can check out the Ogden stories for some of those as well. Do you enjoy the collaborative process that we've been doing?
Yeah, I've only lived here like 3 years, and it's just good to meet other people doing art. So this is like super cool that y'all have like a whole crew dedicated to this. And even cooler is the Collage Institute. That's pretty rad. I've never thought that would exist or anything like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's been fun doing all of the different projects through Collage Institute. And as a crew, we are trying to make it more official.
Cool.
And I would like to do some sort of, well, I don't know what's going to happen this year, but I would like to do some sort of Mardi Gras event as a crew.
That sounds fun.
Maybe some sort of like, so there's the Petite Rex is one of the parades, and they make little shoebox dioramas, and they roll down the street with those. So maybe something along those lines, where we create some sort of collage, or maybe we just like tie a rope around this thing, get some wheels on it, and just like drag it. Like 5 of us just like rope over it.
I'm super down to do that.
And are you? And I heard you're looking to maybe become a tattoo apprentice.
Yeah, that's like how I got into watercolor a couple years ago. It's like I want to go for tattooing, so I just started painting watercolor and drawing flash, and that's where all my paintings stem from. So
if you're in New Orleans and you've got the hookup for a tattoo shop, hit up Sean Lindsey, because he's your guy.
Cool.
What do you think we should do for our next big project?
Oh my God, that's a good question. Well, if you ask me, I think it'd be cool to do one idea. Like I was mentioning earlier, birds, all birds. That would be so cool.
Yeah, that would be fun. We haven't restricted ourselves to a theme before. We've done just these like free-for-all collaborative processes. So that's a good idea. I like that. We pick something, maybe we like all vote on it as a group. And then our focus is around that.
Yeah.
Rather than size or shape.
Yeah. I think another cool idea would be something that I like in collage is like surreal landscapes. It's just like, it looks like you're looking at a landscape or something, and it's just like all this collage stuff, and you're like, what the heck? It just looks otherworldly, but it's surreal because they're images we're familiar with. So we're just seeing them arranged in different ways that we've never seen. So our mind is like, that looks fun.
Yeah, and I think to do that collaboratively would require a lot more planning.
Yeah.
But that would be cool, like almost like storyboard artists or something, where we could really like sit down and kind of develop an idea for a single piece, and then everybody could contribute different cutouts to it, things like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I like that.
What do you want to see?
I want to do. Let's see. We've done a 9-foot obelisk, so I want to do like a life-size pyramid that you could like climb up on, like a stage.
10 years later,
Yeah.
it's finished.
So if anybody wants to build a giant pyramid for us to collage,
Cool.
reach out to us. We'll make that happen. Let's see if they got any questions. Do we have any long-term projects that we're working on? Well, do you have any long-term projects that you're working on?
I guess my long-term project is like getting into tattooing, but so I don't know. I'm in like year 2.5 of painting and drawing, so that's my long-term project. Other than that, I mean, I'll get into like 30-hour paintings, which is kind of my threshold, which is like A1 size. I don't know how many inches, but anything bigger than that, I don't even have room for in my tiny space. So I think it would be cooler to take on a huge painting that takes like, a couple of years to finish. Would be amazing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't have any long-term projects that I can even think of. I'm just trying to survive here in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. Well, so the insects that you've been cutting out, that's kind of a long-term project.
I guess you're right.
And you had told me like you were saving all these up and you wanted to make this big piece and surround the frame in beehives that you've been collecting. And now it's all come out today.
That is really cool. Yeah. 6 years ago, I started cutting those insects out. It took me like 6 months, and they've been sitting in a box for 6 years. And every time I move, it's in this box. I'm like, oh, am I ever going to do this? And there was a leak in my bus, and it almost got to the box. And I was like, oh my God, my heart.
Oh,
This just happened like a few weeks ago. I was like, oh no. So yeah, when you said that the obelisk was going on, I was like, I'm just gonna bring all this stuff that I cut out already, and I think it's gonna work out. And I think it looks great.
I love it.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah. I feel like you kind of showed us all up a little bit.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I was just trying to make it look good.
No, it's okay. It's great. And I mean, I have a long-term project that I've been working on since the beginning of the pandemic that is sort of a surreal landscape.
Really?
Well, so you saw the piece that I did for the October show. It's like all like the jungle fauna and the cats and everything.
Yeah.
And so it's something like that, kind of these sci-fi landscapes. And I mean, it's been kicking my butt, to be honest.
I feel you.
Creating during this whole pandemic has been hard for me. And I see all these other people who are like taking this opportunity and like being like, oh, I'm going to be even more creative than I normally am. And I'm kind of envious because it's been rough on my mental state. I don't know about anybody else, but
you're talking to the queen,
right. But it's actually doing things like this with y'all and doing things like Ella's art club and other like Zoom hangouts where we Miko, who started the Krewe with me, she has one where we get on in the morning and we do some stuff, and just doing those things has helped me in the past like month or so really come out of that shell. And so now that piece that I've been working on for like 4 months, I think it's finally reaching a conclusion. So I'm excited about that. So I'll share that with people.
Have you been gluing as you go or just cutting them all out?
Gluing as I go. I sort of started with like a background and now I've been like moving towards the foreground.
Oh, cool. That's so awesome. And I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'll have to show it off. And I think we are almost done. Let's see, it is almost 3:30. So we're gonna work for another half an hour and then I'll jump on and I'll say goodbye to everybody and see if there's any more questions. But thank you for tuning in and watching us work. I hope it was enlightening. The event is called Chaos to Order. And I'll have to get some pictures because all of our material spread out all over these tables is quite the chaos.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. This is a really good opportunity.
Yeah, I'm glad you were.
Ogden is a great place.
Yeah, and the Ogden has been so great having us here. It's been a great day. Yeah. Awesome. All right, well, let's get back to it and we'll wrap it up. Also, like, yeah. It's not everybody knows better.
This book is great. This is a really great book for your purposes. This seems amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So great.
Yeah, we have some good stuff that's come our way since we've become a crew.
How long have you guys been doing this? I mean, as a crew.
Since, wait, is it 2 years?
More than one, yeah, you said 1 year.
2 years.
It's almost
this month.
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like August, yeah.
Yeah.
Because what time is it now?
What the time? What is the time? What is the month time? See how hard they're working. Let's see, what was one of these guys? There's a phone in there. This little girl, but she's in space. But it's also her house. Look at that looks sort of like you. It used to be that small.
What's that with rainbows coming out of your
Rainbows coming
mouth?
out of your mouth.
If you'd like to purchase any of these, collage.
Oh, yes.
You can either buy them online and then you can take this one.
I like that. Okay. This is the industry standard, right? This collage is the main trade.
Yeah.
It's collage.
I'm pretty sure it's the only collage specific, like, regular full printed magazine. I mean, there's other like.
Yeah. Is it a French word? It seems French.
I don't know, I've never asked. If it's just like a fun way to spell it, or if it means more.
No, I just know like the actual. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, the original was collage. Yeah, that one was French.
Glue together. Collage. Chris, is there a system or a process here? Just curious. What is it? Through improvisatory?
Pretty cool.
With it, nice.
And we did a little bit of like talking beforehand about what we were trying to achieve, and especially like with all of this stuff that Ella's been bringing to the table. I was like, yeah, that's cool. We're all yeah. And we're still developing our style. I was talking to Sean about maybe doing something a bit more focused, so coming with a team and everybody collaborating on that. So deal with landscape ideas and storyboard artists. So yeah, I think we're trying to feel our way out of the career.
In the band.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also nice to watch it because then it's sort of for the actual making of the thing. There's a performance quality to it that I'm trying to. But yeah, what if we do this? Would you be a little annoyed if we did with that bother you? No, they didn't.
Every time I run something back on, it keeps us next to it. I see it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Savanna. Wow. Mm-hmm. Oh, I think Google that. Question is, where do you Google? Flamingo?
Oh, no, you don't.
Where's that from? Good. That's perfect. Blue? I got it right here.
I'm like, look at so hard. I love it.
That's dog, I love it.
I wish you guys could see. All the things when it works together. Thank you. This is the first time I tried to make it this big, so this is like an adventure. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, there's so much texture. This stuff is amazing. I'm obsessed with it. Whoever invented it, I bet originally it was like for plumbing or something. And then someone who like does plumbing but also Mardi Gras was like, you should.
Or really someone saw someone's costume, they're like, how do you make that? And they're like, oh, just plumbing Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna set back. I can't believe I'm like looking at this like, okay, well, this is my professional eye. I love the Mardi Gras beading. I like it. Cool. Great.
I think, what if we did some Mardi Gras friends and like,
Yeah. Basically. And I was also imagining, oh yes, my little spring. Yellow. Purple. Yellow. The other half of it is over here. If you want to go to the dollar store together sometime, I'd love to go. That's where I got this stuff.
Yeah, I'll just show you the graphic she made for like Ella's Mardi Gras miracle. And it's like all of the things that she did there and busted out so she can poster for it.
It was the best rider I've ever seen.
I'm gonna need these things if you want me to even show them.
That's kind of honestly how I felt, because I was like, I don't make things this big. Like, I don't have anything to do. I guess I could have just said, I can't do that on this. That's the other option.
I'm really glad that you did it.
I did practice with the Krewe paper at home. I was like, I'm not going to do this. That's really fun. That's hello. I was like, we have 4 hours. We're on a meeting. I don't know if you also saw this technique of wrapping the type fingers on a glue stick. You're picking up what I was putting down. Or as I say, scooping what I was scooping.
I'm sure the microphone picked that one.
The lucky listeners. Okay, where did I see this happening? I had a plan. The plan is gone. I guess it's going to come down here now. Great. Blue thing on? Yes.
Yay!
Yeah, you can never.
Anything. This is like the paper tables.
There's fun stuff in that bag and over there too. There's little pre-cut corals.
It would be fun to do like a kind of a line challenge for everybody to have one bag of one thing.
Yeah. And then if we go through pipe cleaners, you're like, no.
It's like sometimes I'm in the zones, I don't really get what I'm looking at, and then I look at it and it's just like, oh my god, that's what came out of me today. That's when my brain's like, yeah, what? See when it's just so boo boo. Yeah, you can see that. Is this the mirror? This is brand new, yeah. I have never had a Savanna Meekins before.
Savannah, you have a list?
Oh, yeah, they are.
Oh, I have
there's so many. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I got one like I got a special one so that I could show you like fun fish novel. Oh, I have a novel that is 3 in a row, 3 tiny books. Ooh.
Yeah, so that one is like died right away. Really upset because it's like, so I just bought like a regular. I really
Yeah, this one, you also can adjust where this goes, so you can do that on your computer. So like this adjusts how far out it sits, so you don't have like these little hands. Oh no, I finally nothing for the Spider-Man.
Oh, it's okay. I haven't printed on a burning forever. Oh, okay. You probably have to grab a book. That's a good place.
Oh my god. Oh, how is it now, huh? know that was later, but it was an emergency. That's okay, yeah. What a goofy piece. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, that is our time for today. We're probably gonna glue a couple more pieces, but we're gonna start cleaning up and wrapping up. Let me just check the chat here and see if there were any other questions. Oh, Christopher Byrne heard us talking about collage. The phonetic spelling of collage in French is collage with a K. It's also the Turkish word for collage, and collage means gluing or bonding in French. Thank you, Christopher Byrne. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in today and watching us work. It never feels like it's done, but I think when we leave here today and then come back later in the week to either move it to its next home or whatever, it'll feel done. So that's what happened when we did our collab slab during Collage Fest last year. We just kept working on it, and then one day we looked at it and realized it was finished. So thank you, everybody. Everybody sounding off in the chat, thank you. Oh, and some people have been working alongside us. That's awesome. You are officially all members of the Mystic Crew of Scissors and Glue. We're super inclusive. I like to add everybody who shows up. So I hope to see you all again, and keep an eye on the Ogden's Instagram and Collage Magazine's Instagram. We'll post some more pictures, and have a great night.